So, yeah, worst side chick ever. But anyways,
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Battalion Vets podcast. I am Duncan.
I'm B.
I'm Jimmy.
And we are your weekly dose of geek material that we go over in a podcast format. We get to talk about movies, TV shows, video games, anything that we really want to talk about that we consider to be geeky or anything like that. And the twist is here that we are 2 military vets and 1 first responder. And no, I am not a second responder. So with that, we're going to get into the sit rep.
Oh, yeah, he's doing that forever now.
Oh, man, we're going right into the syrup. Okay. Yeah, here we go.
I'll write it down next time.
Huh. I love that. Clearly Morse code. That's
Yeah.
Yep. I got every...
This episode
Short, long,
comes
short
out
of that
after
one.
the last
Yeah.
episode.
What? Yeah. What? No. For our astute listeners, you will notice that is a different Morse code.
I picked it up immediately.
Yeah. So if you can decipher what the first one was and decipher what this one is, maybe let us know in the DMs, and then maybe we'll get you something. Maybe you'll get a sticker. How about that? Speaking of stickers,
Hey, we got this fabulous merch that my good friend Duncan has just been blasting all over the
killing away
interwebs.
on.
Yeah.
killing
Yeah,
it.
check
He hates
us
it.
out.
He just hates doing
I
it.
hate having a creative outlet for all my nerdy ideas. It's so terrible. I can't stop. Anyway, our merch is available on geekbattalionvets.threadless.com. We got a lot of different designs there. We got some Mandalorian inspired designs, a Guardians of the Galaxy inspired designs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and more than that, there's stickers, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves,
Long
if you're
sleeve
that-
tanks.
tank tops.
We invented those.
Okay,
by the way.
Inspector, calm down. But
Watch him be right.
and
I
if
can't
we-
wait till I'm right.
and if we actually start making some decent sales and this thing goes somewhere, you'll eventually get a Croc Dick shirt out of it. So
Yeah. Crocdicks.com.
yeah.
Crocdicks.com.
All right. Yeah. So it's it rep.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's-
What have you guys been up to?
Jedi Survivor.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Son of a bitch.
baby.
Yeah.
And then there was one. God damn it.
Oh, I'm
To me,
loving it. I'm
fuck
loving
you,
it.
B.
You're making this up. I'm calling
No.
your bullshit.
No, I've made it past Coruscant, the first one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've watched the cinematics too. You're not fooling anybody.
You
okay.
shouldn't have spoiled it for yourself. dude.
I haven't got all the way through it yet. So
No, it's what I love about it is having finished Fallen Order and then going right into Jedi or Survivor. They don't change the controller layout.
just like
Yeah.
God of War, you pick up right where you left off,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. See, I hate that with video games. Like you spend all this time learning how to play this character, and then you go into the follow-up and everything has changed. Your character's like a fucking idiot again. They don't know how to do anything.
Right. That's
But
the best part.
one
is
of
that
my
he
bi-
still
Yeah.
has his Jedi abilities.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh, for some reason I got to relearn Force Push.
One
Like,
of my
nope,
biggest
just-
complaints about the Arkham game, the first ones, was like you had
Yeah.
to go back and get the
Yeah.
same
Oh, no,
stuff.
I don't
you
have all my
oh, damn it, I
gadgets
left it
again.
at home.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, that's damn it,
Dude, you're
that's
gonna love it.
That's it.
You're gonna love
I'm gonna commit. I'm
You
gonna get a
gotta do
Bowflex.
it. You gotta do it. I don't think that's where we were going, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Guardian's quote there. I like
Oh,
it.
that's right. Yeah,
One
yeah.
sandwich away from fat. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so been doing that. Then also I saw Blue Beetle. I saw the trailer for that.
I was saying, you saw the movie? Holy
What do you-
shit. This
what
is
do
an
you like,
exclusive.
Yeah.
Just like George Lopez simp that you get all of his stuff in advance.
Yeah, you know,
or-
me and Mr. Lopez, we're tight. You know, I no. Yeah, so that's coming out August 15th, I think it was.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that soon, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, don't give a shit.
This is another case of I've been burned by DC too many times, but I'll probably see it. So
I'll watch it, but doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. That's a good segue because I watched Shazam:
August
Fury of the
18th.
Gods, so it was
Why?
fine. I don't know, because it was on Max. So you're gonna watch it too.
I don't know if I am, honestly.
So
I don't like Zachary Levi.
he wasn't
in that
bad.
role.
I didn't mind him. The movie was fine. I didn't think it was that bad. I did love one scene, and I did watch it with two of my children, and I laughed really hard when this person said this quote, and spent the rest of the day trying to convince my 6-year-old that that's not okay to say and it's not funny, even though Dad was laughing hysterically at it.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Obviously, there's some, gods are involved in this. So, like Greek gods, and there's a scene where these creatures from that mythology are coming to the real world. And of course, all the Shazam kids, I don't know all their names because I didn't pay that close attention, but the youngest one is obsessed with unicorns. And it turns out unicorns are like the most feared beasts of all.
Oh, okay.
And so they're going to use the unicorns to get rid of all the other beasts that have shown up. But they're terrifying. They're just absolutely the worst beast there is. So you got to figure out a way to get the unicorns to jump on our side. And the little one is always carrying Skittles around. And she throws
product placement.
Oh, but it's fantastic. I don't know it's the way they wanted it pimped, but she throws some Skittles out, and of course it attracts unicorns. They start eating it, and she says, "Taste the rainbow, motherfuckers." And
does this child actually say motherfuckers?
She says it.
Oh,
holy shit.
And she's probably like 10. I don't know. But I was laughing so hard, and my 6-year-old was doing the rocket fake laugh, like, it's real, like, because I was laughing so hard, and then I'm like, no, you can't, that's bad, that's bad.
Yeah, you
That's
can't
bad.
be saying that. Yeah.
But I do have one that I'll save for the end, but the other thing that I watched the other night, and we're going to do an entire episode on this, I don't care what either of you say, it's happening. I watched Violent Night with David Harbour. It is fantastic. Everything I want in a terrible movie. It's equal parts Die Hard.
Okay.
This is the Christmas movie where he plays Santa Claus, but he's killing folks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Die Hard with Santa as John McClane.
Okay.
It's also
I'm not against that.
It's equal parts Die Hard 2. Because that's a Christmas movie.
It is. Yeah.
Home Alone. Bad Santa. Like it's Home Alone with murder, and it's so good. It's so good. And like it's terrible. Like it's ridiculous. Like there's times you're watching and you're like, Jesus, but it's so funny. I absolutely loved it. My kids loved it. Well, two of them. I only let two of them watch. And then my wife pointed out, like, when I told her that we have a new favorite Christmas movie, she said, like, that one's definitely not kid appropriate. Oh, no, it totally is. It's fine. I'm like, thank God she'll never see it.
Probably be able to tell from the name, but
yeah. But yeah, we're definitely going to talk about it.
Maybe that can go on our Christmas episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something. Bad Santa
Christmas
and
in
Violent
July,
Night.
maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. But it has to be talked about. It's fantastic. The Home Alone gags that happen in it are just priceless. They're so good. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of
It's
into.
a Hallmark moment, huh?
Duncan, what do you got for us?
I basically so there's a moment in last episode we talked about Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fantastic. Go see it.
great. Listen to the episode. Go see the movie. It was great.
Yep, bring a spare pair of underwear.
And there's a moment in that movie where a specific, I'll try not to spoil it in case you don't want to listen to that episode, but there's the Venom universe is referenced in in a specific way. So I, having never seen that and realizing that it's on Disney Plus, I watched
Venom is on Disney Plus.
Sony has allowed all of the Tobey Maguire, the Andrew Garfield, and Venom movies. I don't know if Venom 2's on there. I think it is. But,
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that one either. I heard it's hot garbage. But,
yeah, it looks terrible.
Venom 2? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I heard it's real bad.
It wasn't
but
good.
They're all on Disney Plus now. So if you just want to get your fix of Tobey Maguire Spidey, that's on there. Same with Andrew Garfield.
Tom Holland stuff is still not on there.
No Way Home is still not on there. Which is just purely because they want people to pay for it. So
yeah, well, they got me.
Just like Into the Spider-Verse was on streaming for free for a long time until the Across the Spider-Verse was about to come out, and then they took it off for free and made you pay for it.
What kind of absolute assholes would pimp a movie that's coming out with a different movie? We're talking about Flashpoint tonight, so
okay. That's what you're getting. We're the assholes.
Us kind of assholes,
okay.
yeah.
But Venom is Tom Hardy is good in it. I think he's fun, but it's better than I thought it would be. That being said, it's still just bad.
It's awful.
And
it's really bad.
It just really showcases how meaningless Venom is without Spider-Man. Like the whole concept of Venom is that he was initially attached to Peter Parker, and that's why he can defeat his spider sense. That's why he has the emblem that he has. That's why he has the spider-like abilities, the wall crawling, the web shooting, the organic webbing, all that stuff is because he learned those powers and that stuff from Spider-Man. And then you get in this and it's just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. I don't know why he's doing any of this or why he looks like this. And then
they did a disservice to Carnage.
I haven't seen the second one either. But I love Woody, the post-credit scene of Cletus Cassidy, Woody Harrelson. I was just talking to somebody the other day about how much I love Woody Harrelson. Yeah. He shit the bed.
I think it was me.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
You know what? The only thing I've ever seen of his version is that post-credit scene. And you know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of Woody from Anger Management, the Adam Sandler movie where he's the prostitute.
Yeah.
Like Destiny or whatever her name was. Like
his haircut looks like Greg Brady.
Yeah.
Like he
so
just
weird.
looks fucking terrible.
You pumpkin pie haircutted freak.
But it was interesting that they referenced it in Spider-Verse there. So
yeah,
I watched it. I doubt I will watch Let There Be Carnage for a very long time.
I'll probably watch it because I like to watch shitty things. But that ties directly into what my last point was going to be. And we could talk about this for hours, but we're not going to. The upcoming slate of MCU stuff, I am not real excited. I am super excited about the next thing, which is Secret Invasion.
I'm tentatively excited about it, yes.
So, and the only reason is because, well, not the only reason, because I love SLJ is the man, but they keep pimping it as Winter Soldier ×2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm in for that. So, but there are aliens, so that will be different, but I'm trying to trust the process. Just phase 4 or whatever the hell phase we're in is making it very difficult.
Oh, this is like phase 5, I think.
Is it?
Now.
Well,
I think we're towards the end of phase 5.
The only movie, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only movie slated to come out this year in the MCU is the Marvels.
I think you're right. Yeah,
and that's in November.
Not 100%, but I think you're right.
There's a couple shows.
Yeah, I saw the trailer a couple weeks ago.
Couple shows in the pike, but man, my question is it panic time? Like
for us or for Marvel or for both?
For those of us that enjoy good Marvel content.
Oh, well, I think as long as the writer strike's going on, it's panic time for everybody.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like this is the perfect storm of I'm just worried that if Marvel dies, comic book movies are going to take a huge hit, especially because we're hoping James Gunn is going to revamp DC, but we don't know.
I mean, you had the conclusion of the Guardians. I mean, they left it kind of open, but I mean, you could just
they only left it open for Star-Lord, really. I mean, maybe Rocket, but the only thing really great we have going on that is Marvel adjacent or MCU adjacent is Spider-Verse right now.
Yeah. I know Tom Holland recently said that his Spider-Man 4 movie is on hold because of
everything,
the writer's strike and everything like that.
Yeah, didn't he confirm too that is the last Spider-Man?
I don't know if he said that or not. I think that always depends on money.
Yeah,
so.
It depends on when he stops looking like he's 12. If that changes, then they'll probably change it to somebody else.
He's got at least 10 more years of playing a college student.
Exactly. But the only one I know of for sure that's still a go right now is Deadpool 3.
Which I've heard some concerning things about because Ryan Reynolds is
being a writer.
He's a member of the Writers Guild.
Right.
So if he does anything
ad-libs.
if he does any improvisation on that movie, which is the bread and butter of Deadpool, that counts as a rewrite, which could mean he scabbed and he could get kicked out of the Writers Guild, and it could be a whole huge
and does
huge
he care
problem
at this point? I don't know. But
he owns a football team and a wireless company.
I think publicity wise, it would be a bad.
Sorry,
it would be a bad look.
European football.
Oh, okay.
We have international listeners.
That's true.
We do.
Do we, or do we just have a bunch of military
deployed folks
on other?
Maybe they're passing it on to the locals.
Yeah, let's hope so. If this is
like
your
the
introduction to
STDs,
Americans, you're welcome.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
It only gets worse from here. But yeah, so
USA.
We'll see what happens. But
I think there is a very real threat to just, especially Marvel, because they were already kind of on the downslide with some of the content that they'd put out recently, and now they don't have writers.
Yeah,
so
I don't hate everything that's come out. I just
I'm not saying that either. But there's
stuff on
obviously
the horizon.
been a decline in quality.
Yes, and a lot of that is because we lost our core, like Evans, Downey, Hemsworth's.
Well, even Hemsworth recently said in an interview that he would only return to Thor if they had something really unique and a good story for him to tell.
Yeah, he's only saying that because the last one didn't do as well as he wanted it to.
I don't know. I think that's probably true, but I also I don't if you heard about this. He had this whole diagnosis thing.
No.
So he did this show on Disney Plus called Limitless.
Yes. I saw part of that.
It's like a kind of like a fitness longevity show where he's talking about like pushing the limits of human possibility and aging and physical fitness and health and all those things. And he got tested for he had some genetic testing done. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it was, but he basically has like a genetic marker that indicates that he could get this specific, it might have been Alzheimer's. I can't remember what it was.
Interesting.
That's the worst.
Something like bad, and he's like, I'm taking a step back and spending time with my family and embracing the time that I have, because it wasn't like he had one of the markers that was bad, it was he had two, and so it was like a pretty significant kind of scare,
guarantee
pretty significant scare for him. So I think that's kind of,
awful.
he's kind of taking a step back and spending time with his family, which is a good decision. But
no, 100%.
So I think that's probably factored into just doing Thor again.
I would be totally fine with if they wanted to take another shot at Thor too, like, because he's the only one. I mean, the only other one we've gotten was from the Incredible Hulk show back in the day, that like in the MCU or the Marvel continuity anyway. So like I wouldn't be. I mean, he's great. I love him as Thor. But that would suck to see.
It's hard to picture anybody else as Thor.
It is. But I mean, the day's gonna come where we're gonna get another Iron Man. I mean,
they're gonna.
We already got a new Cap, which, man, and I didn't even want the old one when he got cast. Like, and I'm happy to be wrong about that. Like, he was great. I can't imagine anybody else. But, so yeah, the end of the day, I'm always gonna be a Marvel fan, and they're gonna have to really burn me before I'm gonna stop watching whatever they put out. So, and even the stuff that's not for me, like some of the other things we've talked about in the past, but I don't care. I'm still gonna watch it. So,
Yep, I will probably still watch superhero movies. If they continue to be bad or far or few in between, whatever.
I don't want to know what that point is.
I mean,
but I would definitely go to that point.
They've at least figured out like the formula. So I don't think we're ever going to get a return to the Incredible Hulk, like the really terrible one.
You mean Hulk?
Like the Ang Lee one with Eric Bana, where he's really bright green?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's just called Hulk.
Yeah, that's just Hulk.
Okay.
It's,
Incredible Hulk was Ed Norton.
Is the Ed Norton one that's technically part of the MCU.
But I don't think we're going to return to those. I think they've figured out the formula here. So I think
the formula is stick to the source material. It
depends too. I mean, like we saw Morbius was a return to like 2001 style superhero movies, but done in a really bad way.
Yeah, but it's also Sony, so they
I know everything. They screw everything up except for Spider-Verse, as we talked about. Yeah. But yeah. So
that's pretty much all I got. You should we do the thing?
Yeah, I got nothing else.
Good.
Yeah, because my book closed, so I don't have anything else.
He lost his page.
I lost my notes. So
okay. Fallen.
Hey, this is the formation.
Yeah.
And if you're listening tonight, it's because you are super excited about the Flashpoint Paradox that we're going to talk about tonight. It's actually the Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's the official title. So
in anticipation of the Ezra Miller,
that's what we're doing.
Miller Flash movie with Michael Keaton and the like in it, we are talking about the 2013 direct-to-DVD movie from DC's animated studio, Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, which the reason we're talking about this is because the Flash movie appears, if you've seen any of the trailers, I don't think this is a spoiler, to be heavily based on an arc in the comics called Flashpoint. And this animated movie is a animated version of that arc in the comics with a few changes.
So this is your spoiler alert warning if you haven't seen this movie from 2013.
And it's your spoiler alert warning for if you really don't want to know anything about the Flash going forward. Yeah, we're probably going to make some predictions or some guesses or some comparisons.
Yeah.
If you we're not going to be directly spoiling the Flash because we obviously haven't seen it and we don't know.
So. But I mean, it's all in the trailers apparently.
But if you care at all, then I would wait. To listen.
This is it. This is your spoiler alert. That was awful.
Spoiler alert.
I don't want you to spill anything.
Are you guys both going through puberty or what's going on there?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, spoiler.
I crunched my balls before I did that.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
All right. So in this movie, we start off with some crazy Justice League shenanigans at the Flash Museum.
Oh man,
and, then some stuff happens. I'm really confused because most of what I know about the Flash and most of my stuff is
let me clear up what I can.
I know. So
that will
most
be my
of what I know about the Flash is from the CW series, and I haven't watched all of it, but
there's 150 million episodes of that show.
7,500.
It's been going since like the same year that Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash and they announced a Flash movie, and we just ended with like season 9 of the Flash, and the Flash movie still isn't out yet officially. So
wow,
yeah, pretty wild.
Crazy. Well, so
what are your questions about these shenanigans?
There's a Flash museum.
Well, that's a classic.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, well, that was interesting to me.
I'm sure there's a museum for all of them, but
he's a beloved hero in Central City.
Sure, but the thing that messed me up was like Thawne.
Eobard Thawne.
They called him
the Reverse Flash.
Thawne, the Reverse Flash, but they call him Zoom in this too, or Professor Zoom.
He's all of those things.
Okay, but like those were all like at least 2 different people in the TV show.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and then
they gotta add 9 seasons of
that's true
show or 8 seasons or whatever it is.
As seamlessly as they did it in the movie, we'll just glaze past that. Some stuff happens. The Justice League saves the day at the Flash Museum, And then the Flash takes off running. And the next thing I know, the Flash wakes up without powers. And I'm like, what? Wait, hold. Did I miss something?
I felt the same thing because I'm watching it, and then suddenly he's like, boom, and something. I'm like, wait, what happened here?
So I rewound it to where they're at the museum.
Amateurs.
And it's just him running. Well, what you figure out as the story goes on is he went back in time and saved his mom from being murdered.
So let me give you some comic book background here for this.
Please
first
do.
of all. So the Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne or Professor Zoom, whatever his nom de guerre is at the time.
7 different
whatever his
things to
moniker
keep it
is for the
consistent.
moment.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. He's from the 25th century in the comics. And he basically, in the future, obviously knew about the Flash and all of his hijinks that he got up to as a superhero. He becomes obsessed with the Flash and tries to recreate the experiment to get the Flash's powers and is successful. And then he, because he is linked to the Flash now, basically the Flash's existence is the only thing that allows him to live. Like he's the only reason that he is alive is because the Flash became the Flash. So he decides, this is like some John Connor shit. He decides he's going to go back in time and make the Flash who he is. So he is actually the one who goes back in time and kills the Flash's Barry Allen's mom. And in his childhood, when Barry's mom was killed, she was murdered out of nowhere, and they never solved it, but they believed that his dad did it, and he was arrested, went to prison, and ultimately died in prison before Barry could ever prove that it was anybody else. And he dedicated his life to becoming a forensic scientist, worked for the police department, did everything he could to solve his mom's case and never could. And then he comes to the realization after his dad has died in prison, he's totally alone now, that Eobard was the one that killed his mom. And that's kind of what led into Flashpoint, as he has recently learned this information. And that's why he makes the decision to try and go back and fix it.
So any of that information would have been fabulous before he just takes off running and then wakes up without powers.
So they kind of use it as a surprise reveal in this movie.
Yeah, but I
later.
don't think it worked that well.
I agree. I wasn't a fan of
because he's just suddenly waking up like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
So we'll go through this beat by beat here in a minute, but I just want to wrap it up here. So basically, because of the butterfly effect, he goes back in time, saves his mom from being murdered. He's no longer the Flash.
Right. The Flash doesn't exist anymore.
For whatever reason...
Yeah, he tries to take off and he can't.
Yeah, he's like, falls down the stairs. And his costume doesn't come out of his ring or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't even have his... Or he doesn't
gets
have
it
his
somewhere.
ring on. Yeah, it's like in his pocket or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But... So anyways, that event also causes the night that Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered, causes Bruce Wayne to be the one that's killed.
Right. Thomas and Martha survive. Bruce is the one that's killed, and we get a little scene of Thomas Wayne just beating Joe Chill to death in the alley after he killed his son.
And at the same time, his mom snaps and has her son's blood on her hands and starts laughing just hysterically.
Right.
And because she's just in such trauma that she puts her hand up to her face and makes the Joker smile with her son's blood on her face. So she becomes the Joker, which I'm assuming in the comic books, that's a whole storyline that they
there's
just
a lot more
gloss over.
There's a lot more. Yeah. So this was the first introduction of Flashpoint, of Thomas Wayne as Batman that we get in the comics, and then he's gone on a bunch of other adventures that we see later.
Oh, nice.
He comes back at a certain point in the comic books into the main continuity and is kind of a bad guy that Batman faces for a little while. He works with Bane when Bane takes over Gotham City, and then he redeems himself a little bit and goes on to work with this group of multiversal variants of different heroes. So there's like a Superman from a different universe. His name's Calvin Ellis. He's black. He's the president in his in his universe. And he goes on to work with them in a group called Justice League Incarnate. And they just had some recent adventures in the last few years. But yeah, there's a lot more stories that spawn out of this.
So this is why we're talking about this, is because this is going to be important, I think, in the Flash movie from what we've seen in the trailers. So I don't know how they're going to spin the Batman angle. So that'll be interesting, because we know that both Batfleck and Michael Keaton are Batman in this movie. So that'll be interesting. But
I feel like there's going to be a surprise appearance by Christian Bale. I'm
hoping George Clooney is in there somewhere.
Oh, I hope not.
I haven't seen.
I don't think
the
Bale's going to be there.
But okay, this is a potential spoiler for The Flash. But there has been a lot of rumor on the internet that the movie will end. So DC is rebooting their movie universe allegedly after this movie, and they're using people think they're using the idea of Flashpoint to be that catalyst, the same way it was in the comic books, as a reset. And because that means that Ezra Miller probably wouldn't be the Flash anymore, because he's got to go to prison.
Terrible human being.
But there's been rumor that this movie will end with him trying to fix everything and going back to his universe, only to find, Planet of the Apes style, that he's actually in the Clooney universe, and that'll be where it ends.
That's been
it's been a huge rumor on the internet.
Way.
There's been a bunch of talk about it, but I don't know if that'll happen.
That would be hilarious if it did. But
my question is, in the Flash movie, a la Flashpoint Paradox and the comic books, so Thomas isn't like an alternate Batman of Bruce Wayne. He is the Batman of that Earth now, because he doesn't travel to another dimension necessarily. He changes the history of his Earth,
the world
of that universe as it is. So Bruce is dead and Thomas is Batman. Are we going to see in the Flash movie, is that what's going to happen with Ben Affleck's Batman? Is Batfleck going to become a Keaton Batman? Like, is it still supposed to be the same Earth, or did he travel to a split dimension? Did he travel to the Batman 1989?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because in the Batman 1989 universe, Zod didn't invade, as far as we know, and there's no big Man of Steel crisis event.
I think it's got to be something different. I think it's got to be a dimensional thing, because
or is he going to go to multiple dimensions and recruit?
That's the next thing in the story. Is not only is Batman not Bruce Wayne, but because of this event, it pushes the meteor shower that brought Kal-El to Earth from Smallville, Kansas to Metropolis.
Right.
And because it decimates a very urban setting, the government swoops in and steals this alien. And
in the comics, it's framed as a terrorist attack, and it killed 35,000 people.
Yeah, that's a problem
in Metropolis, and nobody ever took credit for it. So all the public knows is that there was a random terrorist attack in Metropolis, a huge city, and it killed 35,000 people.
So what the government does is they hide this alien creature
what they do
away.
Best.
Yeah. They lie. They hide this alien creature away for 30 years. So this world no longer has a Superman. But then some really weird shit happens, and the next thing you know is the Amazonians are at war with the Atlanteans, and we'll get into that further later. But then Cyborg is working as, was he like the Secretary of
I think he
Defense?
I don't know
something?
if he has a position necessarily, but he works
says
for.
he does.
No,
He says he's like
he works in the government.
Yeah,
I
he works
says
directly
his
for the
title is.
president.
Yes, so
and then gets fired later on.
So he's in charge of putting this team together, and they want Batman to be the strategist to lead them to
call
fight
him
this war.
the best tactician in the world.
Exactly. So they want them to go basically invade this new Themyscira. What is that? How you say
so
it?
the Amazonians and the Atlanteans are at war. The Atlanteans being those from Atlantis, the sunken city, which
Aquaman.
in DC Comics is a monarchy ruled by Aquaman, King Arthur, and Themyscira is the hidden island of the Amazons, which is ruled by Wonder Woman, Diana Prince's mother, Hippolyta. And in this, those two groups are at war, and they're trying to take over the entirety of the planet. And the Themyscirans have invaded the UK and decimated. I can't remember what it says in the movie or the comic, but it's like millions of tens of millions of people.
Oh yeah,
and
it's gone.
It's bad.
They've declared the UK the new Themyscira,
right?
And so they're at war with the Atlanteans.
So the Flash, when he realizes he doesn't have his powers anymore, immediately goes to Wayne Manor, finds the Batcave, and gets the shit kicked out of him by Thomas Wayne, who's drunk in the basement.
Almost gets impaled on the fence spikes.
Oh, that's way ahead of us here.
Well, just to back up a little bit, we see that Thomas Wayne is a different style of Batman initially in our introduction.
He's the Punisher.
Yeah, because he's using guns.
He carries guns, and he immediately tries to kill this alternate version of Harley Quinn called Yo-Yo. Throws her off a building, and Cyborg rescues her, and that's when he comes to recruit him.
Right.
But then, Barry breaks into Wayne Manor, and he is confronted by Batman, and he's like, Bruce, you know me, I'm Barry, like, you gotta help me. And he's like, Bruce is dead, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and he's like, you got about 3 seconds to explain yourself. And so he does, and for whatever reason, Thomas is like,
well, initially he doesn't believe him because he's breaking his fingers one by one until he tells him the truth. And he's like,
9 fingers left.
I'm the fastest man in the world. And he's like, well, you weren't fast enough to avoid that.
Pretty slow right now.
But his ring falls out, and he just shows him his costume, and he opens his ring where his normal red costume would pop out, and what pops out is the Reverse Flash's costume. And so he comes to the yellow one. He comes to the conclusion that Thawne must be responsible for the change in the timeline,
right? And
that he's the one who killed his mom. He obviously went back and saved his mom in order to torment Barry and to do some sort of, evil scheme here, and that he's got to solve it.
So however, though, going back, when he wakes up in this alternate universe and it's its mom, or he finds his mom, like, he just suddenly just like accepts it. Like, it's like 20 years of like not having your mom, and then suddenly it's like, yeah, okay, there's mom. Yeah, okay, we're cool.
In his defense, like, wouldn't you kind of like walk into that like it's a dream, and like you're seeing this person that you've been missing for so long, and like, I mean, he's
also been a superhero for a long time. Like, he's seen some crazy ass shit.
Sure, but I guess the way I looked at it was, this person that you've been wanting to see for so long, and you finally are seeing them. Do you care if you're sleeping
you live in that
right
moment
now?
Yeah, you live in that moment.
And accept it.
Yeah, it felt like so like, and I've accepted it. I guess it's part of the comic book world. But it was just.
But I think he knows something's wrong when he tells her, "I'm the Flash," and she's like, "Oh, what you're talking about? How about Superman? No. Well, I've heard of Batman." He's like, "Okay, there's my." Yeah, there's my link. I can go. Batman's the world's greatest detective. He's one of my good friends. I'll figure this out with him.
That didn't bother me much. The transition from the Justice League just doing their thing to Barry wakes up without powers bothered me more than anything. Because it was like, what the hell?
Anyway, sir, I took us on a weird tangent.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So they end up recreating the experiment to get the Flash's powers back.
He gets burnt to a crisp.
Not work.
Try number one. Again. He gets caught on fire, and Batman has to put him out.
Yeah. Batman's like, third-degree
burns over 75% of his body.
And so naturally they try it again, and that time it works.
Yes.
And thankfully the weather always sucks in Gotham, so there's just lightning bolts flying around all the time.
That's a great line there, like where he's like, "We need these chemicals and really bad weather," and then the thunder hits. Welcome to Gotham.
Yeah. So that happens, and they end up and they go and they rescue Kal-El from the government holdings with Cyborg's help. They use him to go fight the or go try and prevent this war between the Atlanteans.
Oh, well, Kal-El is just like
he's like a scrawny.
He's never seen the sun.
Yeah, they've never allowed him to see the sun.
And he has limited vocabulary.
Yeah, they've clearly just kept him locked away forever, and they
beat him with a stick.
They tell him like, "Hey, we're friends. We're gonna take you outside. We're gonna get you out of here."
Friend
goes outside and he's like, "Oh my god, it's beautiful out here." He gets his first taste of solar energy, and he starts to float.
Yeah,
and then all the government bad guys show up, and they're trying to shoot at everybody, and then his heat vision kicks in, and he fucking kills everybody,
he murders
and
everyone.
then he's horrified,
turns them all into shadows,
and he leaves,
disappears, and they're like, "Well, fuck, there goes our big gun.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?"
But so they end up taking their team to the UK. They try to prevent the war. They fail. Flash and Reverse Flash get in a big. They do a big fight.
Yeah. That's another thing here in this. Just to briefly point out that so Flash gets his powers back, and Batman's kind of talking to him about like why can't you just change it now? And it's because Eobard is in the same place, and he's siphoning,
he's soaking up
the speed force from him, so that he can't go as fast as he would need to break the time barrier and go back and prevent this or fix this.
Which that answers a question I had later on, but I'll find it. Okay. So, anyways, Batman ends up getting killed, but he saves Flash before he dies, and then he
shoots the fastest man alive in the head. Shoots Reverse Flash through the back of the head.
He's got like a 1911, but he blows a hole.
Well, and the other issue I have with this
would
not like that.
Yeah,
no.
The other issue I have with this is that like in previous canon, like the Flash has been there's a Flash comic where he's in a movie theater with his wife, and he feels a tickle at the back of his head, and he goes into like super speed mode. He turns around, and it's a bullet just touching his hair. And so he, at super speed, moves through and picks out all the bullets, stops the gunman, whatever, sits back down at the movie, and then, it all catches up. But this one, he just straight through the head. And in the comic, it's even slower. He gets ran through with a sword. He doesn't get shot. He gets ran through with a sword.
Wow.
By Batman?
So, yes.
Oh, Jesus. Well, so as Batman dies, he gives the Flash a letter to give to Bruce.
Yep.
Oh, and that was pretty hard.
There's a big cryy moment, and Batman thanks him, and
you're one hell of a messenger.
That's pretty much the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did it no justice, so you could watch it and think I was talking about two different movies.
I will say it's. I think it's worth a watch. It's
definitely. I think so too.
In light of our previous episode with Spider-Verse, where we talked about how it's hard to watch other animation because of how well that is.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah, this was not
This
great.
is nothing in comparison.
But we did
still good, but
well, I mean, it's 10 years old at this point.
Another seamless transition, though, because one of the things that we hit on and didn't talk about enough really in the last episode was the voice cast. Yeah. And this voice cast, the initial glance, I didn't think much of it, but then people started talking, and I started going through the whole cast, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. So just to go through it here, we have the legend that is Kevin Conroy returns as the Batman we all know and love.
Yes, he is just Bruce Wayne Batman.
That's right, R.I.P. But then we get introduced to the Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom or whatever the hell you want to call him. C. Thomas Howell, who is better known as Pony Boy from The Outsiders. So stay golden, baby.
Also in Southland.
Yes, he's fantastic in that. Yeah. Carrie Elwes. Yeah, so Princess Bride. He's Aquaman. I got to give him credit for his high and tight haircut. And
Aquaman's?
Clearly doesn't skip Trap Day either.
He's the biggest human being. Well, he's not a human being, but he's the biggest motherfucker ever.
He's huge.
Yeah.
But Michael B. Jordan, also huge.
As a Cyborg.
Really good Cyborg. This was like the first taste of him like expressing how big of a nerd he is and how much he's totally into all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I don't think his Superman project that he was working on is happening anymore, but
I keep seeing it's either yes, it's still happening, or no, it's not. So who knows?
I don't think it is, but I don't know anything, and hopefully he's not done. I really enjoy him as an actor, and I hope we get to see him in something.
He's great.
Sam Daly is Superman, who Sam is the son of the former Superman voice actor of Tim Daly.
Yeah.
Might have known him
Superman, the animated series.
from Wings.
Yes, he's also in Wings, but he voiced Superman for years, from Superman, the animated series, from Justice League, like lots of different.
Yep. That's kind of cool.
roles. Yeah.
Taking over for Dad.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman is Deathstroke. Of course, he
has like all of 30 seconds in this movie. So
that's true.
Like maybe a minute.
But he was also Hellboy, and in my mind, he was Thanos in like the first Avengers movie.
I think you just made that up.
I did make it up, but I'm making it real. Danny Houston, or Huston, however you say it, he's General Lane, but he was also William Stryker from that terrible Wolverine Origins movie.
All right.
Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern.
Hal Jordan. He routinely plays Hal Jordan.
Malcolm Reynolds.
He's not Green Lantern in this movie. He's just Hal Jordan, test pilot.
Well, he's both because he's Green Lantern at the beginning.
I guess
the Justice League shenanigans.
He is briefly there.
Yeah, I heard Hal Jordan speaking. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's fucking that's
Nathan
Fillion.
Yep. Mal Reynolds from Firefly. So
yeah, he's been voicing Hal Jordan for a while in a lot of different projects.
Plus
it's usually either him or a guy named Nolan North. So
plus he's in a ton of other geek stuff.
Oh yeah, he's a huge dork.
He's in everything James Gunn.
He's also in that cop show called The Rookie. I think it's on ABC or NBC or something. I've seen a couple of episodes.
Yeah, he was in this little movie recently called Guardians of the Galaxy.
You
might have heard of it.
Yeah, I got a guy like that.
Yeah.
But the big thing that popped out when I was looking at the cast here was there's some serious Star Wars.
Really?
Clone Wars and Rebels
some veterans
alums in
there,
here.
huh?
Yeah. So top of the list was the clone, D. Bradley Baker. He is 3 different people in this movie. He's Etrigan. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Etrigan the Demon. The Top and the Canterbury Cricket. He's, of course, all the clones and a bunch of other Star Wars voices. But Steve Bloom is Lex Luthor. He is Zeb from Rebels. He's also done a bunch of other voices, but he's...
Carabast.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably more known for... He's Wolverine and Logan on a bunch of the X-Men stuff. I didn't watch the anime, but he's Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. I love the live action, which apparently can't tell that to people who
You're
watch
the
anime.
only one.
Yeah, apparently. But he's also...
It was canceled immediately.
Yeah, but I liked it.
I didn't ever watch it.
In Transformers, he was Starscream. And then Kevin McKidd, who played Thomas Wayne, Batman, he was the Mandalorian protector Fen Rao from Rebels. But you probably know him more from Call of Duty. He was Soap McTavish from Modern Warfare. Okay. So that was pretty badass.
Bravo 6 going dark.
Exactly. And then Vanessa Marshall was Wonder Woman. She's also the voice of Harrison Dula from Rebels.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
that's a cool connection.
Amazing cast. So that's something that we talked about in the last episode of like you can put up with a lot in an animated movie, but if the cast is bad, you're in trouble. And this one was great, and it saved it in my opinion.
I'm gonna hot take it, I guess. I'm gonna contradict you there. I rewatched this and I remember liking it more. And when I rewatched it, I was disappointed in the cast, in the voice acting.
Really?
Interesting. I really felt like
how much of that has to do with the Flash, because he's probably the weakest one in the cast. I think.
Whatever. Yeah, I think everybody is just kind of doing the bare bones. Obviously, Kevin Conroy is great.
I did get that feeling,
but they're just really just. There's no. They're just reading the bare bones lines. And like the gruff and tumble characters, kind of like Aquaman and Thomas Wayne Batman, are just kind of doing deep gravelly voices. There's not really anything like
it didn't feel like there was any emotion. Like it didn't like speak to me.
I don't remember feeling that way the first time I watched it.
So maybe they weren't great in this, but the cast is great.
I'm not saying the cast isn't great. I'm just saying maybe this wasn't their best work.
Yeah, so. That's fair. But
that could just be a symptom of Spider-Verse
That's
that
true.
I've been immersing myself
you got
in.
that hangover.
Like
that
they fucking nail it there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's,
Totally.
it's tough to judge anything after that.
we already talked about it, but like the worst transition I've ever seen in a movie. Like it would be very hard for the Flash movie to do a worse transition than
They
this.
obviously don't.
I don't think they do.
The
We've
comic
seen
I
better
will,
in the trailers.
I will say the comic book opens that way.
Oh,
Like
the same way. Where he
it
just
doesn't.
wakes
There's
up?
there's not even any battle. The first issue is he just wakes up and it's like, hey, you got to work on this case for this thing, and he's like, who the fuck are you talking about? And then realizes
But
that
see that almost makes more sense to me because you're like, why doesn't the Flash have his powers?
Sure.
But this he starts out
with
his
his
powers,
yeah,
and he
then-
goes on
yeah, that's fair.
adventures.
That's
Like
fair.
it doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
so I'm skipping quite a lot, but we kind of covered it. My first question was that the Suicide Squad that was with Lex Luthor when they attacked the Atlanteans? Because like you have Clayface and
I mean, I think so.
Deathstroke.
A lot of times they try and do these like different versions of the same groups sort of thing in these alternate timeline stuff, but I guess you could call them that. In the comic book, there's the Outsiders is a group, and they try and recruit them, and it's like a different version of them too. But I don't know that it was directly a Suicide Squad, but I mean, like Deathstroke has been on Suicide Squad before.
Yeah.
Clayface has too, I think. So I mean, you could argue that.
There was a throwaway line that he said, "Oh, this is like your Suicide Squad."
Batman said that to Cyborg.
Yeah.
But yeah, so probably the biggest glaring thing in this whole movie, I just have it's like 17 letters long here, but it's just why the fuck did the Atlanteans go to war with the Amazons? Because Aquaman is a scumbag? Or because Wonder Woman went full on Fatal Attraction, in parentheses, worst side chick ever?
Yeah. So the Atlanteans and the Themyscirans initially have peace, and they briefly show it, but then Aquaman starts fucking Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And Mira finds out about it. Mira tries to Mira is Aquaman's wife, also a super powerful Atlantean.
Yeah, Amber Heard.
She'll shit in your bed. Watch out. So
Now it makes sense.
Mira tries to kill Wonder Woman in retaliation, and Wonder Woman, being like the most badass warrior there is, just cuts her fucking head off and takes her crown
Makes
and
it
wears
look
it.
easy.
And so Aquaman declares war. But there's even a scene at the end after Wonder Woman kills Aquaman, and Aquaman activates his doomsday device. And she's like holding his body lovingly after the kill. I'm like, what the fuck? Get your fucking shit together,
so you
guys.
just like killed her or killed him.
Also, like, it makes no sense. Aquaman, you're a shitbag.
Yeah.
You cheated on your wife. You got caught.
I can't
and
believe
your
I ever
side
loved
piece-
you.
Your side piece kills your wife, and you're pissed about it? Yeah. What did you think was gonna happen?
Man, that's love.
Okay, I don't think it was love.
Yeah,
I think
what's
it was
love got to
something
do with
else.
it?
Exactly. But yeah, like the worst reason to start a war, I guess, is because you're a piece of shit.
I mean, our wars started any other way. Really?
I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
That took way too long to get to one of those.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I guess.
An orgasm
I
joke.
guess she does say that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually it's way too fast, but
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it depends on who you're talking about. Like, you might have been right the first time. I don't know.
what else you got?
So, yeah, worst side chick ever. But anyways, out of nowhere, just a little drop in the bucket line, and I hope there's more in the comics about this than there is in the movie. But Thomas Wayne owns a casino.
Yeah, instead of
Bruce Enterprises.
like Wayne Enterprises.
Wayne. Not Bruce Enterprises. Yeah, Wayne Enterprises. big difference.
He goes into the casino business, and there's a little bit more about it, but it's basically like he's using it to to funnel bad guys' money into his Batman operation. So
that was my next question: is like, was this his way of getting into the mob and like
that's my understanding.
Basically, killing more people.
Yeah. So
again, perfect.
Perfect.
This is just pointed out that the atom is a weapon of mass destruction.
Like, yeah, that's an original thing for the movie that wasn't in the comic.
Oh, I like that part. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was an interesting little reveal there that he's the Doomsday weapon, Captain
So what
Atom.
was the Doomsday device in the comics?
There isn't a Doomsday device. It's just the war is just like bleeding
happening.
on, and it's just going. People are dying all around Barry, and Batman is dying. And he does the same thing, gives Barry the note and says like, go fix this by making sure we all never exist, basically.
Right.
And so, yeah, he goes and takes care of it.
The Grifter shows up.
Yep. Grifter.
Image Comics represent. I know
Wildstorm.
He started out in Image and then part of Wildstorm. I was a diehard Image Comics fan, man. He was one of the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Which was the Jim Lee.
It was Jim Lee's original
addition to Image Comics, and I don't know when and where he ended up drifting into the DC, but I loved the Wildcats. I loved Stormwatch from Wildstorm. That was also an Image comic. I loved that one, but it was cool to see one of my 90s breakaway.
He is definitely a child of the 90s, like,
oh, for sure.
Just like the wildly muscular and crazy looking art.
Yes.
So
and like his whole costume is like a Deadpool bandana. So
basically,
his frosted tips can stick out the top, I guess.
I was just checking out his Wikipedia page here, Inspector.
Oh, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
He was never a part of Image Comics. He was
he was a member of Wildcats.
Which was published by Wildstorm Comics, which these were properties that were owned by Jim Lee.
Yes.
And so, just like I said,
hold on. Back the truck up.
Okay, while you look this up, I kept thinking that character was Deadpool, like a DC version of Deadpool, and I was like,
well, that would be Deathstroke.
Well, Deadpool's a Marvel version of Deathstroke. Right. So.
Yeah, I was just like
Slade Wilson, Wade Wilson.
Why is Deadpool in the DC universe?
Yeah, he does have a lot of similarities too. Oh no!
No, you're still not right. I have the comic at my house. We can run across the street and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Maybe it's a Mandela effect, and it was always always.
Quit saying that. You say that all the time.
I looked up his Wikipedia page and I Control F'd Image Comics.
Right there.
It doesn't
Wildcats
appear.
#1, Image Comics. That's number 4, but it's still got the Image Comics thing there.
It does. Do you see Grifter in there?
He's in there. I'm telling you. He's one of the original Wildcats.
Doesn't mention it at all on the history of his
maybe you shouldn't trust that garbage rag.
Yeah, maybe.
Look.
Nope, you're right. Here it is. Nope.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
The team first appeared in August 1992 when you were 35, and it was
#1.
Image. It was published by Image Comics. It was Image founding partner Jim Lee's first work.
Oh, I know this because I was there and I bought it. God damn it.
All right.
You were -2.
You're right.
I was there. I bought it. What? I can't wait until the inspector comes out and
it's not gonna
just take it. But yeah, Image Comics represent, underlining that 3 times in my notes now.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
We covered that one. Superman symbol on Kal-El's cell door when they free him from the government holding facility. Did you see that?
I guess was it just the Superman S or what?
Yeah, it was completely unnecessary, but I thought it was kind of cool.
The whole thing he's there is like Project Superman is what they call it.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
See, they don't get into any of that in the movie. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's on the giant freaking 4.5 foot vault door.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see it on the door, but I did see it like randomly on him afterwards.
And also, why did they give him this like huge cell?
I don't know.
It's not like he's never seen the sun. He can't do shit.
Yeah, I mean, they don't.
Scrawny little dude.
He's gonna live underground for 30 years.
Do they know that the sun like messes with him and like gives him his
They must
power?
know something because I mean, they've locked him in this hole this whole time, and he
maybe.
hasn't broken through it. But whatever.
He does. That's a good point. He does come back in the end, and he lasers off Aquaman's arm, and
which is
tries
awesome.
to stop the battle, and doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
But
I was expecting him like once he saw or like felt the sun, like just to like boom, 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 boom,
Get all jacked.
ching, 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 get all jacked up. But he stayed skinny.
Yeah,
Yep.
he stayed pretty scrawny the whole time. So
Yeah, scrawny like me.
brings another point. Like, does Superman need to be Henry Cavill? Like, does he need to be huge? Can he just be tiny and still like throw buses like it's nothing? Like,
Well,
does
I
it
mean,
matter?
Yeah, I mean, like Superman wasn't always drawn as being super muscular in the comic books either. I mean, like classic, like Silver Age Superman is just, he looks more similar to Christopher Reeve Superman than, he does to Henry Cavill, I would say. So,
But I mean, like, as long as I can remember, he's always been
sure. I mean, like,
huge. In the comic books. I mean,
like they draw him as obviously a very imposing
like
physical
Superman.
figure. So,
yeah. So from what we've seen in the trailers, the escape scene looks almost spot on from what we got in this movie.
were they in
Except
the
it's-
Flash trailer where they
Yeah.
rescue Supergirl?
Except it's like in the snow. It's
And
somewhere
no cyborg.
cold, and there's no cyborg that we know of.
I sincerely
I
doubt
don't think
he
he's
will
going to
be
be in this either, because he super hates.
Yeah.
Was it
WB.
Whedon?
Well, Whedon and WB and all of
Yeah.
them. So
Okay, but yeah, and then we talked about it already. But Superman comes in and does a lot of murder. Felt a little bit like Brightburn.
sure, yeah.
Where have you seen that?
No.
Is that it? Where was that on? Was that on?
I don't know.
Hulu?
Is that James Gunn? Or
Yeah,
is
I think it is. He was affiliated with it. It was either
Brightburn.
him or
No, I guess we're just
he
wrong.
was like a producer of some type on it.
Yes, he's a producer on
Yeah.
it. It's directed by David Yarovesky, but
Yeah.
it's basically the Superman story outside of him, anyone actually calling him Superman, and he's evil. He's like
Yeah.
an evil little kid.
He's like predestined to be evil, though.
Yeah.
He's sent to Earth to
Sure.
conquer.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
but anyways, Brightburn. It's not bad. Elizabeth Banks is in it.
Yeah, it's mom.
I can't remember the other guys. He was on The Office that I haven't watched, but he was the tight end from The Replacements. That's what I know him as. So, but anyways, I hated how at some point the Flash starts having a seizure, and Thomas Wayne Batman just goes,
Oh yeah,
"He's having a seizure. His memories are collapsing on each other." Like, what? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Just some comic
This
book
is
logic.
terrible. And then the Aquaman versus Wonder Woman fight scene, like it was terrible. Like
It's really,
I don't know
it's
what
really
you
nothing.
expect from a animated movie choreography for a fight scene, but
Well.
like Aquaman literally drops the people's elbow on like top rope and
Yeah.
everything. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's. I remember this movie being a lot better than
Yeah,
it
me
was.
too. I don't know what happened.
It's not.
So this one's directed directly at you. Why is Shazam called Captain Thunder?
Just to be a different universe thing. I don't think like Shazam's originally was Captain Marvel. And then after years of back and forth between Marvel and DC, and Marvel having their own Captain Marvel character and being called Marvel Comics and whatnot, DC just decided to say fuck it and change his name to Shazam.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Well,
so.
it doesn't make sense to call him Shazam because he can't say his own fucking name.
That comes up in the
in the
Fury of
Shazam
Gods
movie, yeah.
too.
Yeah, I
So,
know. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Just get over it. Just call him, or call him Captain Thunder. I don't give a shit. But
yeah, whatever.
that's pretty
But it
brutal.
was confusing
where-
that they don't explain it at all.
I don't know why, but yeah, that's a pretty brutal scene though. Where because in
yeah,
the original comics, Shazam is Billy Batson. He's one person, and he has a family of Shazam people that also get to turn into
Like the movie.
adult. Yeah, just like the movie. In this, all of the kids say the word, and they all turn into like
one
fusion
person. Yeah.
into to one person.
It's like
Dragon Ball Z fusion. into one person.
I don't know what that means.
Sorry, guys. Got too nerdy for my own friends here for a second, but
just a bunch of kids stacked up under a trench coat.
Yeah, and they have superpowers.
Yeah.
But so
or like the station aliens from
from
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah. So Wonder Woman
meet up. Yeah.
Wonder Woman puts the
Nice.
the lasso of truth on Captain Thunder and asks him, "How do you reverse your form?" And they're like, "By speaking a word," and just like say that word, which I didn't know the lasso of truth made you like commanded you to do things. It just makes you tell the truth. He doesn't have to do anything that it says.
You just say no?
Yeah. No. I told you what it is. I don't have to say it. But so says Shazam and turns back into the kids, and then she immediately starts grabbing the kids and just fucking stabbing them.
Yeah, that's because she got struck by lightning when he said it. So
well, yeah, I mean,
she was pissed.
Sure, but you're
She
also
went full on Anakin
killing
and
his
murdered all the children.
Kill all the kids.
Yeah.
But so then we get to the big Flash versus Zoom fight, and I don't know why I thought about this, but it makes sense now that you've talked about it. The Zoom was like absorbing all the Speed Force at the time, but I couldn't help but wonder, like, would it have mattered if Barry Allen was more athletic before he became the Flash? Like, what if he was Usain Bolt and then became the Flash? Would he be like,
I don't know.
even more Flash?
Maybe he's a better running form, but
yeah,
like I think he's like especially the
Ezra Miller's
especially
terrible.
the Ezra Miller's
never sprinted anywhere in his life.
Fucking thing that he does, but
except from the police, maybe.
Yeah, he's probably ran from the police, but recently,
like a
in
lot.
Hawaii. But that being said, like the Flash also has the ability to like essentially slow down time and learn anything at super speed, so he could practice anything a billion times before he
chooses
could blink.
not to because he's already fast. So
I mean, I think he's pretty efficient.
Okay,
He
fine.
can travel through time. So,
but then like during the fight, right before Batman sneaks up and blows a giant hole through his head, Thawne gives this speech that to me sounds exactly like what we've seen from Batfleck in the trailers. He's saying the same, yeah, but you could ruin everything.
right?
Like,
Yeah, he explains that this is the reveal that we get that Barry went back in time and is the one that that saved his mom, and that Eobard didn't actually have anything to do with it. And that he's just here to watch because he finally gets to see his nemesis Barry Allen die, and it's all his fault, and so it's really satisfying for him. And he explains that like Barry doesn't believe him initially because he says going back in time and saving his mom shouldn't have changed everything that happened before his mom's death, but Eobard explains that like throwing a rock into a pond, you get the ripple effect where you get chronal ripples, you get temporal ripples through time. So it goes into the past, the future, the present, everything is affected by the one change that Barry makes in the past there. So, which also makes it like
he even like
impossible.
Guilt trips him too. He's like, you could have gone back and stopped Hitler.
Yeah.
Kept Hitler in art school, but no, you saved your mom.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
I will say
he's a piece of shit.
I don't think they say it in the movie. I read the comic book before this episode too, so some of it's mixed up in my head. But there's a moment when I think it's just in the comic, but when Batman runs him through with a sword in the comic, he says like doctor's advice, don't stand still, or when you're on a battlefield, don't stand still, or something like that. And so that's why he was able to get him. But there's a great moment in another Batman Flash comic, and it's called The Button, and Eobard Reverse Flash breaks into the Batcave, and Batman immediately calls the Flash, and so they have this frame by frame fight where Eobard's just beating the shit out of Batman. He can hit him 100 times in a second, and they do that, and he tells Batman like, you can't possibly win. Like, what's your plan here? And Batman says like, I don't have to win. I just have to wait 9 seconds or something like that. And so it shows him just getting his shit kicked in for like 9 seconds. He's just like, I just have to survive until Flash can get here and help. And there's a moment where he tries to swing, and because the Flash and the Reverse Flash can vibrate their molecules so that they can pass through solid matter. They can phase through matter. the punch just goes right through him, and he's explaining like, you can't even hit me, even if I let you, like it wouldn't do anything, whatever. And Batman tells him, he's like, yeah, but I know something about that power is that in order to vibrate yourself, you have to have at least a point of contact on the ground. And he takes a batarang and he sticks it in his foot and pins him to the ground, and then gets a few good shots in there before Barry shows up. So that's just a cool moment.
Because Batman's a badass.
Yes, Batman thinks of everything.
And then my last point that I had in this whole mess was, would Cyborg lose to Aquaman? No fucking way. No way.
Yes, absolutely.
What?
I have no dog. I have no dog in this fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Cyborg sucks, dude. He's been made a bigger deal in
I like him
later comics.
The Teen Titans.
Yeah, he's
cartoon.
great. I'm not okay. I shouldn't say he sucks. I love him in the right context. But Aquaman is like Superman of the sea. Like he is extremely powerful and strong, and he could rip Cyborg apart, no problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, I
So
would
he's
have
not like a
I would
really
have to
cool
agree with
Terminator?
That. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
he's
damn
way
it.
less badass than
Damn
that.
it.
Just from what I've seen, I would have to agree that Aquaman would just mop the floor with
And
him.
Aquaman has like magic on his side too. Like
What?
There's Atlantean magic, and there's
Hell,
all sorts
I
of stuff.
didn't know that. Okay. Which is still dumb.
Like,
I don't like it. But did anybody have a favorite quote? Nobody? I got one.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
He's having a seizure.
His memories are collapsing. Mine probably would have just blazed right by me. Had it not been for what we've seen in the trailers for the Flash movie so
I do have
far.
one.
But Batman says to the Flash right after he gets his powers back, "You need a suit, and I'm not about to give you one of mine." They clearly use that because if you look at any of the toys
Oh, right. Because
for
there's
the second Ezra Miller Flash,
yes,
it's
he's
a bat
wearing
suit that they spray painted red,
and cut the ears off of.
and cut the ears off of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's interesting.
and they also make the comment later on when he's talking about his casino that said, is the bat plane big enough to get us all in there? And clearly in this one, the bat plane is big enough.
private
Yeah,
jet.
it's a plane. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean in the new movie too.
Oh, right,
because
yeah,
it's like
sure.
a 3-seater, which
Yeah.
is dumb. But
yeah, maybe he's gone through some Robins.
a couple Robins got right in the back. But,
I think my favorite is just the "You're one hell of a messenger" from Kevin Conroy,
Yeah.
because I love everything
that
Kevin
was-
Conroy does.
I mean, if you're gonna be serious about stuff, then
That's-
yeah, probably
It's great.
probably the best one. Jimmy.
Yeah. So when Bats throws Yo-Yo off, and then Cyborg's like, you shouldn't have done that, and he's like, wow, I forget how he phrased
You
it.
should have let her hit the ground.
Yeah.
You should have let her hit the ground.
Yeah, that just like speaks to Thomas Wayne's character. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's a
okay,
good
that's pretty rad. Yeah.
Which that ties right into my next one. Who was your favorite character?
I would say Thomas Wayne's Batman, just
Yes,
because
without question. It's,
Yeah, 'cause
Nah,
it's such
Bruce
a-
Wayne Batman for me.
get the fuck. That's just your all-time favorite character.
Sure,
You're
but
cheating.
Thomas Wayne, I already said the voice acting in this is just so. It's not. It's not. He's just.
Kevin.
He's just doing like.
That's a fair point.
It's like
That's
okay,
fair point.
that's great. Good job,
Fair
man.
point. So, I think I've changed mine since mine was the Thomas Wayne Punisher Batman for this movie,
Right.
because Kevin Conroy's barely in it. He's still in it, which
Yeah.
makes it tough to beat. But no, I love that character. I would have loved to know more about him in the fight with the Joker, but they really, really didn't touch it.
Oh yeah,
No.
they just glazed over that. Oh yeah, she goes nuts, and then he ends up like killing her. It's nuts.
But for my rating for this one, like I said, I think I've slightly changed it. Out of 3 severed Queen of Atlantis heads, I would give this one just less than 2. But that's only because It may not have been their best work, but the voice cast was phenomenal.
Okay.
But again, I thought it was better when I watched it. I was like, well, I thought this was.
I'll
This was
give
way
this
better than this.
4 out of 7 murdered Shazam children.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
I'll go 6 out of 10 batarangs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of middle of the road. A little bit better than middle of the road because it was kind of interesting, different paradox or different universe,
Yeah.
different things.
No,
I enjoy,
We're
like
all
at the end
right
of the day,
about the same place.
Probably.
Yeah, I enjoy
I'm not good at
it,
math,
yeah.
so I don't know how that equates across the board.
We're all
but,
over 50%.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Not great. You should watch it if you like this stuff, but
You get some time to kill, or you're doing the dishes.
I will say the first time I watched it, I thought it was really good.
You know,
Sad.
I
what's
remember
actually
it being really good.
Yeah.
what's actually sad is the Wikipedia article that I read, like to catch up.
You mean for your best origin ever that you didn't know about until you read the Wikipedia article? Is that one you're talking about?
I was looking for things to expand my knowledge. God.
But yes, is that's a callback to episode 1, folks.
Which I still believe she's got a crazy good origin, and I really like it, and I think that's a really good origin story. But I think the Wikipedia article was better than the whole movie.
Well, I think you
it's a lot
probably
quicker.
you probably read the Wikipedia of the comic book, not the movie.
There's one for both. So who
Yeah,
knows?
it was the it
because
was
some
the
of the
comic
things
book.
that you said
Yeah.
in that first episode were like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't read the comic book,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, so there's that. Hopefully the movie's better.
yeah,
I
mean, whatever.
I could easily say I could see us.
I don't know.
saying the
It's going to
same
be
thing.
weird with the twins aspect that they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
because I mean, they obviously seem to be doing he goes to an alternate reality versus he alters the history of his
Right.
Earth,
has to
Yeah.
be.
because that's what happens in the book and in the movie, in the Flashpoint Paradox movie, is like he's still Barry Allen of his Earth. He just has altered the history around him, and now he no longer has powers, and Bruce is dead, and those changes. There's not another Barry running around
Yeah.
until he goes back in time to fix this, and there's Barry running back in time to
he
fix
tackles
his mom, and he
himself
tackles
and-
himself, and then they don't explain how that worked
so
out.
weird.
But yeah, so
Yeah, but so we had talked about either the episode or episode before, I can't remember, but we talked about how we're kind of over the multiverse thing. At least I am. I know you kind of feel that way too,
yeah.
Duncan.
Unless
but
they do it as well as Spider-Verse.
that was my point, is that movie reinvigorated my hope for, okay, there's still a way to do this and make it intriguing where there are consequences.
yeah.
This was not one of them for
No.
me, and I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think the Flash movie is going to be that either. But I'll see it. I
think
hope it's good.
They're probably just late to the game too, because I mean everybody's done multiverse stuff. I mean Rick and Morty, Marvel.
That's
now,
true.
Now
Rick and Morty does
Spider-Verse.
it better than most, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
very self-aware of it. But
exactly, because they're just talking shit the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm
I
gonna.
think we definitely need a break from multiverse stuff.
I agree.
Honestly, I would
agree.
rather just see good stories. About,
Oh yeah. Then there's Loki too.
just
God.
lots
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, I forgot. That's coming out this year too, isn't it? Or is that next year?
I think
can't
it's this
remember.
year.
Writer
late this
strike
year.
probably.
That's true.
That one,
Yeah.
I think that's in the can, but I could be wrong. So
Yeah, it sucks that, like, maybe if reshoots are needed, are we gonna get those? Are we just gonna get? Nope, that's what you get.
yeah, I don't know
So
how the ins and outs of that work. So
I don't know, but yeah. So that's our review of that. We look forward to seeing the Flash movie, even though it's probably gonna disappoint us. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that in another podcast.
Going into it with an open mind.
I'm still excited to see
I'm
it.
a little bitter, but
I'm excited
gonna
to
watch
see.
it.
I'm excited to see Keaton.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
I like Ben Affleck Batman, so he has said in interviews that he finally figured out how to play Batman. Too little, too late, I guess. But
we'll see. We'll see.
He's in his like sickly skinny phase.
Oh yeah,
But he was at the
yeah.
end of
Jennifer Lopez did that. That's why.
the end
He
of
sweats
his
a lot.
Justice League Snyder Cut. look, but
he was a little chubby. Yeah.
it looks like there's some cool action at the very least. So
no, I'm excited. I just hope the best of the movie isn't already been shown to us.
Oh, that definitely has happened.
Definitely worried about that.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing that drives me nuts about comic book movies in general, is that they just have a hard time keeping their reveals to themselves when they
except
know.
Marvel, like Endgame.
They did pretty
War.
good. They'll even kind of go like counter
They
on
do.
you, and they'll fake trailers and things like that.
Infinity War for sure.
But yeah,
Hulk was in there.
DC it has struggled with that. Sony traditionally has struggled with that. They did good with Spider-Verse.
I don't know. They did a piss poor job because they like they released the end scene where they're fighting all the villains on the Statue of Liberty, and you could tell that they only showed one Spider-Man, but the Lizard is getting kicked by an invisible thing, and like
while that's technically a Sony movie, like it's a Marvel movie. Like Marvel did that movie, so that's what I don't consider that necessarily Sony. But yeah, you can tell there was a Brazilian trailer when that released.
That's
where the Lizard is reacting to getting kicked in the face, even though there's nothing kicking him in the face in the edit there. But so
that's that. Are we ready for the mail call? Should we do the mail call?
Yeah. Mail call.
Who's got one?
It's gonna get better. I promise.
Eventually, probably.
Yep, we've got one for Flashpoint here.
Oh, go ahead.
Friend of the show, he has written in many times. He asked, in regards to the Flashpoint Paradox movie, which army do you think is more powerful and why? So, the Atlanteans or the Themyscirans?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Themyscirans, the Amazonians.
Totally.
Only because they're raised from birth as warriors in combat, like all of them, like they're all warriors.
Yeah.
So better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war sort of aspect. I'm sure there's a lot of
like 300.
I
brought more soldiers than you did.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's a lot of warriors in the Atlantean fleet there, but
and
they're also
Aquaman sucks. So,
they're also out of their element. A lot of the fighting is happening on land. Depending on the continuity of Aquaman there, he has to return to the water to maintain his strength sometimes. So I'd imagine all of his underlings do as well, but that comes and goes.
He can't talk to any fish when he's on land.
I mean, he can. They just can't get on the land. So unless it's like a giant kraken or something. But and then he had a follow up. Why do you think Thomas Wayne had such a different reaction in becoming Batman when Bruce died versus Bruce when his parents died? Because we get to see a violent take on Batman, or a more murderous take. So why did Thomas have that reaction? Because I think it's a lot bigger deal to an adult,
a dad,
to your
that's immediately where I was going to go.
Your kid being murdered in front of you.
There are very few things in this world where I will make the conscious decision to know that whatever I do from this point on, I will end up in prison.
Yeah,
if it involves my kids, that's one of them.
That would be it.
Oh yeah.
So I get it. Yeah. I don't blame him.
I could, and it's similar to the Punisher too, right? He sees his kids, his and wife murdered in front of him.
Yeah.
So he kind of goes down the same path. Versus you're a kid, obviously it's traumatic, but you're a child. You're in a scared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also as a parent, this is the thing that you hold dearest to you. From the moment that they come into your life, you spend the rest of their adolescence, I don't know what you want to say, like protecting them. That's your sole job in life.
Yep. And he probably feels like he failed. So
that is what is keeping you in line,
right?
If suddenly, like tomorrow, my kids and my wife died, there's probably not much that would keep me from Breaking Bad. And because what else do I have to live
especially
for?
if they were murdered in front of you.
Exactly, especially if you had a target for that
Yeah.
that
boss.
rage.
Yeah, I think as a kid you have a redemption arc that's available to you because now it's revenge, but
When you just haven't been as jaded by the world to see such violence and know what you are capable of or know what is capable in the world. Like you see it from a totally different perspective. Like
100%.
So
he's a dad, and
like when I was a kid, I wanted to be Batman and wanted to be like, Batman doesn't kill people, so that's like killing people's bad. And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, just fucking kill him.
Yeah, what are you done over with? Yeah, what are you fucking around?
I'm still fully
how
in
this is gonna end,
the
right?
suspension of disbelief with Batman in the comics, and I still read it and enjoy it, and still enjoy that he doesn't cross that line and kill people. But all the time, I'm just like, man, it'd be a lot easier if you just fucking killed that guy. Like, you could do it real easy.
You know how this is gonna end. He's coming back.
Exactly. But so that was a good question.
That was a great one.
Let me make sure there wasn't a follow up there. I'm pretty sure that was the 2-parter there. But yeah, that was it. So
this comes from our Twitter DMs. Where can you reach us on our Twitter?
On Twitter we are at Geek BN Vets. That's Bravo November. On Twitter and Instagram. So send us a DM.
Shoot us a DM. You can also email us, Geek Battalion Vets. It's all spelled out, geekbattalionvets@gmail.com. If you'd like to see your question answered or hear your question answered on a podcast episode coming soon to you. Okay, so this comes from Tio. What's up, Tio? Which movie, singular or franchise, would you like to see made into a video game?
Man,
movie into a video game. Usually I'm thinking the other way, video game into a movie, but movie into a video game.
I mean, the easy answer is like The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I think because could you imagine if you make it feel like Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yes. Yeah, the whole Western aspect of that.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Riding a speeder or
so glad
something
I'm
like
sitting
that.
down right now because man,
I think for me, just because we talked about it last week after I saw John Wick 4, and there's some of the video game elements in that. I think maybe a good first-person shooter John Wick, or maybe
almost like
person.
Max Payne style.
Yeah, I think third person would work better, kind of like Jedi Survivor style, where you can use your different like hand-to-hand abilities and
you
stuff
can
like
go
that.
in this room over here and get a new bulletproof suit.
Yeah,
and
get your bulletproof suit or earn different bulletproof components and get different ammo and guns that you're collecting.
That would be pretty badass to go to the one guy at the hotel. That's like it's got a
right. Like you
always
always have to go back to the Continental in between things and check in, and that's where you can rest and see a doctor.
Sets up pretty nice.
Yeah,
actually,
I think they could transfer a lot of elements there to the video game world. So,
but no, I think it's still Mando for me. Maybe throw a little Book of Boba in there and ride it like a bantha. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
Book of Boba Fett sucked. So sorry.
Right. I know they have the arcade version of it, but I would go with Terminator.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a first-person shooter kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you playing as the Resistance and you're taking on Terminators, or are you playing as the Terminator?
Oh, maybe you could have like like in Halo 2 where you're playing as Master Chief, and then there's a couple missions where you play as the Arbiter. Yeah, so maybe and then like you have to end up working together, just like Halo 2. Yeah, so if they could just turn Terminator into a Halo 2, I think that would be
sure.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I just want to play as Terminator 2 as the liquid metal
T-1000.
Yeah, the T-1000 liquid metal. Like I just want
that'd be pretty sweet.
Get to like actually like you see that they have power, okay? Like and you're like kind of like Vader, how he's got power. And you see how he uses it. Like, how do the Terminators actually use their power? Like, let's see it.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see that explored.
Their like HUD would be pretty badass to see
the
world
little heads-up display. Yeah, definitely.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's a good question. I like that.
I got two more real quick. We kind of already touched on this one, but our good friend Tony also came in with, is there any fucking hope for the new Indiana Jones? We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Probably not. I want there to be, but man,
I think it will be fourth best Indiana Jones movie.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'll put my name on that right now. Stamp it.
That,
Yeah.
that can go on the poster. The fourth best Indiana Jones movie.
Fourth best.
Better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
4.5 best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
Mutt isn't in it.
Yeah.
Even George Lucas has come out and said, like, the King of the
I told
Crystal
Harrison
Skull,
not to fucking do this, but they kept throwing money at him, and
Yeah.
he likes strippers a lot.
But I
weed.
think it'll be interesting. When there's good interesting and bad interesting. So definitely an interesting
It's
aspect.
gonna be one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those two. I mean, I'm going to go into it with hope, but knowing full well that it's probably just going to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Unfortunately, sorry, Indy, but
Yeah.
probably. The last one I got here is directed at me. I guess it's kind of a question. It's more of just being a dick, but from our repeat offender, the chick magnet handle Wampa1 4B. You annoyingly bring up, quote, Pip farting on a snare drum, end quote, over and over again. Who the hell is Pip and what the hell is wrong with him? Well, sir or ma'am, or whatever, that is a quote from a fantastic little movie called Airheads with Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi.
Ah, yes.
Interesting,
Okay.
okay.
I know what
Yes.
you're talking about.
And a certain Judd Nelson music producer shows up and wants to promote their single that he hasn't heard. And Brendan Fraser says to him, I'm not going to sign this contract because for all you know, our single could be Pip farting on a snare drum and Pip is Adam Sandler.
Oh.
And Adam Sandler turns to Brendan Fraser and says, I ain't farting on no snare drum, man. I love that movie. It's fantastic. I try to work that quote in whenever I can because I'm an original bastard and that's kind of how I
like
roll.
it.
So
I like it. Yeah.
Well, there you
I
go.
hope that suffices and I'm not going to stop, just so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pip farting on a snare drum. So that brings us to everybody's favorite moment in the show because it means it's over. So the
The torture can end.
the safety brief. What do we got? What do we got going on this weekend, boys?
I'll probably find something to watch, but I can't think of anything. I'm not going to be able to see Flash right away, I don't think.
Me neither.
So that would be the next big thing. But
Yeah, Indiana Jones coming out next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going on vacation here, and my 25th anniversary of going to boot camp.
Oh.
wow.
I will actually be in sunny San Diego, California. So I'm going to try to work my way over to the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot.
There you go.
Show the family around. My son's brought up excellent points of why I should not go there, but I'm definitely going to do it. So I'm looking forward to that. Been still powering through Justified and
Oh yeah, I'll be working on Clone Wars. So.
also Firefly.
Oh wow.
Started rewatching that.
Okay.
Great show.
It's only one season. It shouldn't take you long.
But we got a request from one of our listeners, Xenophon the Discipline, to dive into Babylon 5.
Oh, yeah, that's
All
right.
right.
Is
Yeah,
that Star Trek? What is that?
I
honestly have no idea.
I liken it to the poor man's Battlestar Galactica.
Also
is that
something I haven't
Is that a
seen.
no?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a space fantasy.
Yeah, it's not
but
Star Trek.
It's not affiliated, is what I'm asking.
No,
it's not a
it's
branch
not like a
off of Star
spin-off
Trek
or
or anything.
anything.
No.
Okay, well, they requested that we try that, so I'll give it a shot.
Also, I just realized on the 16th, so Friday, the sequel to Extraction 2.
Tyler
with-
Extraction.
Yeah, with Jake Extraction.
Jake Extraction,
as the Weekly
yeah.
Planet calls it. That comes out on Netflix, so that'll be
Yeah, I'm
available.
excited about that.
So I'll probably
Okay.
watch that just because it's easy. I don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to leave my house.
Cool. Yeah,
So,
I'm down for that.
I really enjoyed the first one.
It's
and
great.
Chris Hemsworth is good.
And I've been trying to carve out time to watch that.
They,
but, maybe tomorrow.
They're touting that they have a 21-minute oneer
oh, I heard that.
one shot action scene in
Oh.
this.
No cuts.
Hopefully, it's actually a no cut action scene, and it
I
isn't
hope
where they hide the.
Does he go to
the-
a school
the
and
cuts?
there's just children and
He's just
like
bitch slapping children the whole time. I rewatched that scene after we talked about it the other day, and fuck, man, it's so funny.
Doesn't he have like
I gotta find a way to work that into a reel or something.
Doesn't he
but-
have like a broken collarbone or something too? And he's just like one arm.
I don't know about
slapping
that,
all
but
these
he
children.
the best part is he just bitch slaps one of them, it knocks him off his feet, and he just goes piss off as he does it. It's
That
so
was like
good.
one of the first ones too. I think.
No, it's towards the end when he gets real pissed off with all of them. But
so funny. Terrible,
yeah,
terrible.
so I'll watch that.
Terrible
for
people
sure.
we are,
Yeah.
but it's good.
That's good. Yeah.
That's all I got. Don't go to Tijuana.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Again, you can hit us up on our socials. Geek BN Vets. We're on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yep.
And also on our email.
Yeah,
Geek Battalion.
crowdchicks.com. Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
that's something else.
It's completely different. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be
Amazing.
live any
yeah.
day, though.
Yeah, amazing. Everything you just said was completely wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
That's not the first time. Right about Griff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Inspector.
Yeah.
I'm right about that too. Just wait.
All right. I've been Jimmy.
I'm B.
And I'm Duncan.
We will see you on the next one.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Tupac.
Rock out, rock out.